A few days ago, I was looking at an old iPod of mine, and I was trying to salvage some deleted files off of it, namely in Ruffin, because I love that game, but I couldn't get it. But I did find some really interesting stuff. After I did the search, some Celtic items popped up, stuff I never even saw before, so I decided to take a closer look and see if I could piece this mystery together. So I'll show you what I found, and I'm going to also show normal items that are similar in order to chain everything together. It'll make it easier for me to explain. Now, you know those elixir boxes, bank boxes? This is a sunlit box. This is in the game, it's just really rare. But I found some extra colors. White, which may be used for the difference between backpack and bank, or something entirely different that I wouldn't even know about. And pink. And pink was probably going to be for attack elixirs. It doesn't really make sense that attack and haste are purple in the box, but different colors out of it. And right here you see a spooky potion, right? But there's also a non-version of it, which doesn't exist. And you know this, it's a smuggler tonic, right? Well, there's a heroic version of that. And this is a super energy potion, but there's a heroic version of that. So, what this makes me believe, there's going to be new super icons for potions, and that there was going to be new heroic potions, a new thing, you know? That didn't really take off, but so we have a gray potion, which I have no idea what that would do. We have purple, which will probably be haste. Blue, which will probably be energy regen. Red would probably be health regen. Green's probably a combo. And yellow's probably a travel elixir. It would seem kind of weird that they'd have travel, but if they have haste, I could kind of see the correlation there. I also found this picture of an orange heroic elixir. Now we have a lot of elixirs, so what it could be, I don't really know, but my guess is that it could be a spell cooldown elixir, because I suggested that in the past, and people thought about it, but I secretly knew it was pretty OP, and I think they did too. Maybe it was just something put in the reserve. Now this is a Frost Claw scale, and it was for that really rare Yule armor in 2013. You had to do the quest to get them, and there was a level 70 and 130 version of the armor, and you'd have to get different items from different level bosses for your specific armor. But I found extra items. This is an eye for every class, just like the other ones. And here's a bear 70 quest thingy, 131. But I found another tier for this too. And this is the ice golems. And I found another tier for that. So what I'm thinking is that there was going to be a 70, a 130, and a 180 set. And that would actually match up with the maximum levels at the time, because we were fighting Mortis around then. I mean, maybe not exactly then, but the levels went up to 180 for sure. And I would assume that the new tier of items would either be bottom tier or mid tier. Because why would a crystal shard be over a whole bunch of them? And the heart is the top tier. So it makes it look like it would be on the bottom, but I could definitely tell you it's on the top. Now these are those crappy Ice Dragon drops. You know how it dropped the helms and charms? and those are the order of, tier. But I found something really interesting. These charms. Now, it could be another type of item, but what I'm thinking is that it's an alternate picture for this. And if it is something that is different, I wonder if it's by class or if it's just because the tiers match up. I also found this, a new ring. It said it was a dragon ring, just like that other thing was a dragon charm. I really wonder what the stats on a ring would be, because there was no ring back then. And you might say, maybe it's Lux, but it didn't say Lux in the photo. It's still possible though, but I looked around and I found this. It's a green brooch. I have no idea on the stats of it or anything. It never said a thing about it. And I also found this, a bracelet that was a Lux bracelet. And that's really interesting because there was no Lux bracelet at that event. And thinking about all this stuff for winter 2013, it would have been way better in summer 2013. It would have been like the greatest event ever. I guess they wanted to hold back a little bit for some reason. I don't know. But I looked around and I also found some extra Lux items for other events too. Now it says this and this are bracelets, but they don't look like bracelets, they look like charms. No stats on those either, but yeah. And I found this too. It could be an Arachnus pendant or something, but it didn't say Lux in the name, so my assumption is that maybe it's a early version of Silverweb charms, or an alternate version. And you know how summer 2013 had the health ring that was black and the energy ring that was turquoise? I found 3 extra rings. Bronze, silver, and gold. It seems like a trend they're trying to do around that time, but we never knew about it. And you know the damage charms, right? Ice, fire, magic, poison. Found a golden one too. Now it could be one of those weird charms in the database, like the burning lore charm, or it could be that it was going to be tiered out. I'm not sure. Both are pretty likely. I also found this and this. Now these are necro bracelets, but 2 colors that we don't know about. My assumption here is that there was going to be a mighty and majestic tier, probably 10 and 15% cooldown or something like that. I guess they realized that people would hate them if they made a recasting that low. Rightfully so. And I also found 2 extra Rungner bracelets. And I would assume the same thing there of a mighty and majestic. I also found some extra mount colors that don't exist. And I would assume that they were originally going to make this a shop mount, but then they decided to just throw them in chests only. And here's a regular serpent staff which doesn't exist, there's only brown ones. Extra colors for that too. And I found a whole bunch of fell spines. There's basically a black bone and a white bone version of everything, which I thought was really interesting. And I found a torch here that hasn't been lit. Maybe for the summer 2013 quest there, that you had to light the torch yourself? Kinda likely. I also found this. Now this is a despoiler sword. As you know, the spoiler weapons are only 1 per class. I guess a sword's an idea they toyed around with, but ultimately decided with the hammer. I think they kind of realized their rupture was pretty broken. And here's the most interesting thing of all. This is a peg leg, pirate fashion. It came in the colors of normal bronze, silver, gold, and gunmetal gray. But for our grand finale, there was going to be hook hands. But it wasn't fashion. It said it was a weapon, and in the database it actually showed up as a weapon. And that kind of makes sense, because how are you going to hold a sword if your hand's a hook? I don't know. It didn't say any damage or anything, so I guess it got cut pretty early on. But that is a hand-to-hand weapon. It would have been pretty cool. Well, that's all I got to show for now. Let me know what you think about it, and maybe what you think some of these items are used for, or what they could have been. It's pretty cool thinking about all the things that could have been, would have happened, but never did. Well, see y'all later.